All right. So yeah, this is my 13th vlog. It's been a couple of, well, I think it's only been a day since I've done one of these. Um, yeah, I guess start with just update. It's weird. It's like my life is not interesting, and you're like, well, why are you doing the vlog? Your life is not interesting. Who cares? I don't really have an answer for that, other than that, uh, like people are watching it, and well, uh, I feel like it's an interesting like kind of content. Like even if nobody even watches it, you know, until like let's say like 50 years from now, this is on some like server somewhere, and they're watching this to like look in my background, look at what books are on my shelf, or you know, to I don't know, to listen to how I'm pronouncing my words, to figure out how like English was pronounced. I mean, 50 years from now, I don't think our pronunciation would change very much. But like, let's say 5,000 years from now, this is like a time capsule. It just seems like it's not a normal type of media content. It's kind of like an anti-media content. It's like an anti-novel. Um, I think it was Robespierre was this French. Uh, I think he was he was a novelist, and he had this concept of the anti-novel, and it was basically like, I can't read French, so I'm not really sure. Anything I say is just like an encyclopedia entry rather than like, you know, from experience of reading it. But where a novel's supposed to be like a cohesive, and there's a narrative like line that you're following, right? Like exposition, rising action, conflict resolution. Like the anti-novel is just like, kind of like a Jackson Pollock's in the form of a story. So maybe my vlog is like an anti-media. I'm not sure what to call it, because life, I feel like, doesn't really have like a through line. Like it doesn't have like actually we talk about this. I teach a course on creative nonfiction, and I teach a memoir essay, and one of these times is a memoir essay, and we talk about like the theory of life writing, of biography, of memoir, and how like a lot of times we have to kind of build order out of the chaos. Like all this stuff happens to you. Your life is like a series of like random events, and then like when you have to tell the story, a lot of times you're like projecting some sort of artistic form onto it. So to circle all the way back to like not really knowing why I'm doing this, who's watching it, if it's even an interesting form of media, or maybe it's not yet. Maybe it's something that maybe like 5 years from now, after I have been doing this for a long time. Let's imagine I do it for a long time. I can go back through and thread it together into something that's like an hour and a half memoir. I don't know. These are some things I'm thinking about. Last night, I have this weekly. Well, we don't really meet weekly. We try to. It's like a tabletop role playing game group. We supposedly meet every Monday, but as the semester progresses, it's harder to meet. But we did end up meeting last night, and we're playing the Star Wars tabletop role playing game. There's like so many different ones, but this is called Force of Destiny. I believe Star Wars Force of Destiny, and it's by Fantasy Flight. And I don't know if you're familiar with. There's so many different publishers of role playing games and systems, but it's the Genesis system, which is it uses like special dice. Fantasy Flight has like these special dice. You build a dice pool whenever you want to do something. So you want to attack some droids with a lightsaber. Well, what's your lightsaber skill? You get so many dice. Oh, you're skilled in lightsaber. You get to upgrade your dice to a different size. Well, how powerful are these droids? Then you add to your dice pool like the threat. You know, are there any conditions that might make this fight more difficult? Let's say you're fighting on like a space station that's falling apart. Well, let's throw in a couple of setback dice. So you build this like dice pool, and then you roll the dice, and then you interpret all the results. It's a really cool game. Yeah, we played that last night for about 3 hours. Had a lot of fun. Force of Destiny is specifically about you play force sensitive characters. It's taking place. I don't know if all the campaigns take place during this time, but it's after the Jedi have been like basically sent into hiding by the Emperor, and most of them have been killed. And it's like, I think it's before the rebellion or during the rebellion. It's definitely during the Imperial period. There are stormtroopers and Emperor Palpatine's in power and stuff, but you play force sensitive PCs, and you don't necessarily know what the Force is, and you're definitely not a Jedi. But our campaign, we've learned that we're basically our group of there. My wife Nicole, she's playing a force sensitive, and then my two friends Max and Jim, they're playing force sensitive characters, and we are like we're in our 20s, but we were younglings when Anakin came and killed all the younglings in Episode 3, and there was a Jedi who kind of somehow got us out of the massacre. I can't remember. I think it was in like the Temple of the Jedi on Coruscant. If I was a true nerd, I would know all this stuff. But yeah, it's been a pretty fun campaign. Our dungeon master, or it's not a dungeon master in Star Wars Force of Destiny, I think it's called Game Master. He's pretty good. So yeah, wish we could play that more. I'm like reading a whole bunch of books as usual, and it's week 15. And today I'll have our office hours. I actually have office hours here in about 10 minutes. I'll have to drive to campus. Well, a little bit more than 10 minutes. My students are working on their final research papers. Just got a call from my mom. She was asking about Christmas presents and stuff. Apparently in Ohio they just got a whole bunch of snow, and she's not staying in. She's driving around in the snow, going to various stores buying Christmas presents. Was asking me what I wanted for Christmas. Yeah, not sure what I'm going to do tonight. I just bought one of those like you get on eBay. It's called like a game stick. It's a USB drive with like a whole bunch of old video games on it, and it's like HDMI, and I just I might play some of that tonight. I'm not sure. Man, I wanted these to be a little bit more coherent. I feel like I'm just like jumping all over the place. I should. I have I guess an opinion piece coming up. Something I want to talk about. Like I got into a conversation with my students yesterday because we're coming to the end of the class, and I always try to get meta near the end of the class. And I was asking about the value of a college education. Like, is it job training? Is it credentialing? Is it about like character development? Like, is it what about these sentimental arguments about like the liberal arts? We got into conversations about artificial intelligence and job security, and I honestly I teach composition. It's like is the teaching of writing, the skill of writing, is it something that we should still be focusing on in the age of like large language models? And we read an article from The Atlantic that you should check it out. Is by Michael Clune. He wrote, I think the title is "Colleges Are About to Self-Lobotomize," which is it's a pretty bold statement if you think about it, because a lot of colleges are now integrating AI into their curriculum. But yeah, anyhow, I think I don't know if it goes against the spirit of these vlog updates to actually, say, oh, I'm going to focus and try to be coherent rather than just let my mind wander. Like I was setting my camera up, and I was like, maybe I should come up with some plans before I press record rather than just start randomly talking to the screen. But I was like, I don't know. So far, it's been fun. Like when I put it up, I tend to have things to say, so I get to the 10 minutes. Sometimes I'm rambling more than other times, but I think it's just a different sort of, media form, and I force myself to just say stuff. So, but yeah, my 10 minutes. Anything else to say? I went on walk just before this. It's raining here, cold, and I had this weird thought about how you know every I'm Episcopalian. It's a form of Christianity, and so I celebrate Christmas. And I was thinking about how everything is like the same every Christmas. Like same movies, same decorations. I have a nutcracker that I have the pictures that my little brother was sitting in front of this nutcracker when we were kids. You know, it's interesting. I had this thought. I thought it was like a deep thought. I don't know if it was a deep thought. It was probably just a silly thought. But how if time is novelty, new things happening, that's how you know you're moving through time, is through novelty, right? Well, what does that mean if you are actually setting up some conditions where you're not encountering novelty? You're actually like inoculating yourself against novelty, so you're encountering sameness. And so you're stopping time basically. And I was like, are Christmas celebrations an attempt to stop time? I feel like that's an interesting thought. And then I was like, well, what is the opposite? What is stopping time? And I think it's like touching eternity. That's the eternal, is where you are out of time. So is the holiday season like this really mortal, ordinary, gesture of trying to touch the eternal? I don't know. That was the weird ass thought. Oh, I shouldn't curse. That's the weird thought that I had when I was going on a walk today. That and when we're putting up Christmas lights and decorating around town, other than annoying people who don't celebrate Christmas, we're trying to touch eternity. So, all right. Well, yeah. Hope you're having a good day, and we'll talk to you later. Bye bye.